to your people, it ain't nothing really. Pass the power to your people, it ain't nothing really. Pass the power to your people, it ain't nothing really. Elevated innovation over ignorance.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the BeastCamp podcast. My name is Rev, and yeah, I'm just gonna throw it over to Sherwin right quick. And
all right, y'all. If y'all have been keeping up, this is our third episode with Brandon. Man, it's been a treat having him here at the studio and at the podcast, talking about his history and then talking about current events that's going on now within the world, with the pandemic, with the uprising, and just in dance culture, because majority of you guys are dancers. And yeah, like today we will just want to pick his brain of what his future goals are. Those are always fun, right? Yeah. But I do want to put a twist into it because I am curious, before I bring it to him, is what would you like to keep as well in the present as you are going into your future goals? So like in dance, like there are some things you like that should be preserved, but then there are some stuff that should be better, right? So I think that's a even more healthier way to look at goals instead of leaving everything behind. And
of course.
Yeah, keep some stuff alive. And yeah, so what do you see with that? What are some stuff that you would love to preserve being in your position, but also kind of pioneer or be innovative to say like, yeah, this is something I contributed.
For sure.
So
definitely when it comes to preservation is my folks, my people, my community, my squad, you know, my homies. Like, no matter where life takes me.
Well, I might hype about that.
Yeah. Because, like, honestly, like...
Yes, I made it!
It's true. Like, Rev, Sherwin, the rest of BeastCamp, my Versatile family,
yes.
You know, a couple of my homies in the community. Like, those friendships transcend dance and transcend just the community, you know what I mean? Like, those are lifelong connections that you have with people that you can, you know, really cultivate for years and years and years and years. Like, I ain't planning to not be your homie just if I do something else in my life, and I don't think any of you guys are planning to do the same thing, you know what I mean?
If you stop dancing, you ain't my friend.
Yeah, like, no, it's not about that. Like, if you're really friends, if you connect with people on a deeper level, especially in the world we're living in right now, cherish that. Yeah. Like, hold on and show love and show appreciation, show gratitude for friendship and companionship and brotherhood and sisterhood and like whatever it is in your life. Like, hold on to that dearly, because one day if one of these folks aren't around, you know, because we don't live forever, you're going to regret if you haven't, you know, really took advantage of that. So for me, I'm hanging on to all my homies. No matter how high I go up, I'm trying to bring all the homies with me, you know.
One of us is gonna make it out.
I hope so. Hey, you know, I never know. And I guess to you know, connect to future plans. You know, I have some ideas, but I think just based on recent events, just how the world works, one of my biggest revelations and things I've learned is that really you need to take it a day at a time. Like, you need to really plan your life out in like 24-hour increments. Like, what am I going to do today, right now, that's going to benefit and bring, you know, value to my life and to bring value to the people around me, you know what I mean? Instead of making these big extravagant plans for the future that may never come, you know what I mean? Because we can't really control the future as much as they tell us, as much as you have all these, you know, inspirational speakers saying you can control your future. And if you do this today and buy my program today, your future will be set. Like, no,
in 3 months.
It doesn't work that way. Trust me.
I know. Aliens will
I know, because I've done it. I've done programs like that, and I've had friends that have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars trusting stuff like that. That's not how life works.
I think my biggest program that I got stuck into was just looking at the posters at the dentist office. I always would get definitely motivated.
The one with the word and then the quotes on the bottom.
Yeah. Honestly, like, nah, dude, like that stuff, that's not the reality of the world, because as we know, everything you could ever plan for could flip and disappear. You know, people who were in your life one year will not be in your life the next. You know, opportunities you had in 1 year will not be in your life the next, even though you planned for them to be there. You know, there's a quote that I learned from Miss Funk, but I forgot where she got it from. but it goes something like, we make plans and God laughs.
Yep.
That is the quote that I live by pretty much every day. I don't make plans no more.
Yeah.
But of course I have future goals and endeavors. I think for me, it's, you know, I think everybody says, oh, financial freedom. Like, no one really knows what the heck financial freedom is until you kind of get there.
Right.
You know, but it's about, I'm just determined to dedicate the rest of my life to learning about who I am and what I do best and what value I can bring to, you know, my community and the world. I don't really have a set plan right now, but I do know that, you know, there are some issues that I would like to tackle in my work. One of them being the lack of proper education, not just in dance, but just in our low-income minority communities in general. If I've learned anything over this quarantine, it's that, you know, a lot of our young black and brown folks don't know their history of their people in this country and what their people have actually contributed, because everything's kind of, you know, washed out and focused on Eurocentric topics, you know what I mean? So I would love to make sure that our, you know, minority groups, Asian, Black, Latino, and indigenous, everything in between, are empowered. But on top of that, I also want those minority groups to also understand the concept of money and finances. You know, that's a huge issue in our communities, that, you know, we all want to be artists, or we all want to be this, we all want to be that, but we never were given the resources or tools when we were younger to learn how to manage our money and finances so we can make our dreams come true. Because at the end of the day, we live in a capitalistic society, and if your money's not right, you won't succeed. Unfortunately.
Which is facts,
Yeah, it's just facts.
It's just facts. It's like, it's not something that we don't want. We wish that we could just live our passion every day however we want, and we don't got to worry about money, but that's, especially in this country, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? So you have to understand how the system works in order to beat it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only way. So I
don't think for us to say that is like us being like, you know, it's like some sort of like bad thing. It's just that's reality. That's the fact of life. If you know, especially in our country, in other countries it might work differently, but at the end of the day, like, understanding what you can and cannot do based on your financial situation is also important to know. You know, so that's something, you know, me getting more into business and becoming some sort of financial advisor has always been like one of my thoughts. Really, at the end of the day, though, I think I just want to become a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to teach. I've been contemplating about getting a teaching credential to actually be able to teach in public school.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? But my issue right now is just the current curriculum, the current standards that they have for public school education. Is I want to, you know, see if there is, what the possibilities are and what the journey will be to help reform what public education looks like.
That's huge.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of my big goals in life, is to really like break the generational chains. Generational chains of our minority communities being uneducated and poor.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it starts.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer because teachers are so like crapped on. Like they really are. Like, they're not treated the way that they should be.
No.
Because they're really shaping,
or even paid.
Yeah, or even paid.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why, and I mean, this is specifically for LA or at least the United States, but this is why we're also calling for a big movement to defund the police, because all of our, you know, most districts in this country, a huge chunk of what they spend in their cities is on police and law enforcement. So then their public schools and educational programs are lacking, mental health programs are lacking, housing is lacking, hospitals are lacking. Like, these are all things that are going to keep our kids safe, intelligent, off the streets, and going to help them innovate and create a better future for our world. But, you know, all the money being spent on police to throw these kids in jail instead. Right. You know what I mean? Instead of getting them resources. So I think a big thing for me is just like, you know, obviously learning about myself and finding what my path is specifically. But at the end of the day, I want to break these generational chains, whether it's I get into some big thing, I make it rich, you know what I mean? And I can help other people do the same thing, or I just become an educator and I help empower and educate the next generation so they know how to do it better than us. You know, those are really all my future goals are based around, and I feel like I'm already on the path to do that. Sure. I feel like I've already done that. I feel like I've empowered. Have been given the opportunity to connect and empower with students all over Southern California and the LA area, and I've encouraged 2 of my students and inspired them to be pre-professional dancers. So that's something I hold on to dearly.
Well, shout out to you, because that is a very humble route.
Right. Yeah.
I got
very narrow route.
What was that?
Very narrow route. Like, not many people want to choose that route.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of people want to just, of course you need to do what sits right with your soul, right? That fits your energy and your vibrations. That's what you need to do. So for some people, it's more selfish goals. Like, they really just need to work on themselves and do the career that makes them money and makes them feel good. But to me, like, feeling freedom is not about having enough money to indulge. For me, freedom is being able to choose what to sacrifice and what to focus on. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like right now I have the freedom to choose what I want to put my heart and soul into, and that's what I'm planning to do. Whether it makes me a millionaire or not, I want to dive into that choice, and I want to dedicate myself to that choice. Even if it changes later in life, I want to go with the flow and make changes as well. So at the end of the day, I really just want to make sure the next generation does it better than us.
Yeah.
And the world gets better through them. That's really all I care about right now.
Yeah. That's dope. What do you think, like, contributed to your mindset about, like...
I was just about that same
Yeah, right. You're on the same wavelength. Well, I was given that opportunity too. Like, I grew up in Azusa, which it's not a big city. It's kind of like a suburb city, about 45 minutes from the big city of LA. Most of my friends back home kind of just stayed there, and are just kind of like living life day to day over there. There's nothing wrong with that, but I was given an opportunity to pursue and understand something bigger. Like, what is it like to work and move out to the big city and work in these work in these situations where you're working with big companies, big organizations, big communities.
Yeah.
Like, what is that like? And I was given that opportunity through VersaStyle.
Yeah, if you can help, like, the listeners really understand that, like, you are a full-time, like, dancer in a company, but describe your roles a little bit so it can, like, help them understand.
So
that you talking.
So I was
talking.
So I was one of my jobs was I had like 2 to 3 at the same time. I had 2 to 3 school sites I would teach at on a weekly basis at the same time. But that job shifted because we were training the next generation of young artists in our next group of our next era of VSNG, VersaStyle Next Generation. So I was like, if the company's growing and they need more administrative positions, I'm going to give my teaching job to these young, hungry dancers who want to teach and give back to their community.
Dope.
And I'm going to take on more of an administrative role. So VersaStyle's kind of split into 2 different companies. We have the professional touring company, which is VersaStyle Dance Company.
Wow.
And then we have the community nonprofit, which is VersaStyle Performance Education Community. So for VersaStyle Dance Company, I am our project manager. I'm in charge of booking all of our gigs. I'm in charge of all the contract logistics, budgeting, financing for any gigs or any events that we throw. That's like my focus, but I also just help with general business administration stuff.
That is a lane.
Yeah.
It's a big.
Yeah. So like I'm dancing, but I'm also like a manager, like a business manager.
Let it be known, brother.
So yeah, I got new contracts and all that kind of stuff. Like that's what I do. But then on the other side, I am the community outreach coordinator for VSPEC, which is our community nonprofit branch. And for that, what I do is basically we fund other community organizations. We give grants to them to help them do their work. So we've given grants to like, you know, at this point we probably got like 10 to 15 different community partners, and I'm basically like a community liaison. So I just like go check up on them, go to their site, see how they're doing, write a report, you know, send it back to the company and be like, well, you know, they're doing this right now. They're doing, you know, with the grant money they got, they're implementing these programs, blah 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 blah. Like, you know, that's kind of like my work outside of being a dancer.
Yeah.
So like I'm a dancer, you know what I mean?
Still working in dance.
I'm still working in dance,
So
but
it's
I'm very community based.
Yeah.
I think it's like.
And it's like paycheck job, like.
Yeah, I get. Thank God, I get paid salary.
Yeah.
So I get a consistent monthly paycheck from all this work every month, and I'm blessed, and I do not take it for granted because, like I said, things don't last forever.
Yeah.
So of course I'm gonna, you know, do my best to hold on to what I have and keep growing and progressing and moving forward.
I think it's dope because like this conversation that we've had for the last 3 episodes has really like, it's dope to see like our conversation between me and you about, you know, like all of this like mindset is like dope because this is a clear option. Like I mean,
like a clear lane, yeah.
Of what I was talking about. So many dancers in LA, so many artists in LA come here thinking that commercial industry
Is the way.
like a dance option, like a dance job is only that.
Yeah.
But then we look over here and we're like, no, like look at this guy.
Yeah.
Like, that is
You know, like
I switched the camera, bro.
Yeah, I
mean,
heard
look,
the click. I heard the
the
click.
way I look at it, look, if that is if your dream is to go on tour, do this, do that, you know what I mean, be a big name dancer or choreographer, go for it. But just know that the industry is savage and they will toss you out as soon as you get old.
Yeah.
So you need to be smart about how you navigate. If you're just coming to LA to clout chase, there's a very, very good chance you're going to fail.
Yeah.
Because that's not how it don't work. Everybody wants to come out here and clout chase. If you don't have something to really offer, you're going to go back to where you came from real quick. Trust me. So, you know, there's more to that. You know, you need to think of longevity. Like, how are you going to make your dance career extend past the time when you're just young and attractive? You know what I'm saying? Because that's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
They ain't going to want to keep hiring you when you like 35 going into your 40s for dance gigs when you got some fresh, young 18, 19, 20-year-old who's killing the game right now. They're going to hire them before you. So, you know, you got to be real and you got to be smart and you got to be creative and you got to understand, like, what the options are for sure.
Yeah.
I think if you really think about it, at least outside of Corona, like before Corona, there had to be at least 100 to 500 people moving to LA each month, chasing clout.
Watch. So you want to know what happened? Half of them moved back home to wherever they came from because any gig that they booked got dropped. Any tour that they booked got dropped. Any studio that they were teaching at closed. Like, you know, whatever it is, you know, maybe you got big on TikTok because everybody's online now, but that's about it. You know what I mean? Me, I still have an opportunity to work in the community. I'm still getting a consistent paycheck. I'm not relying on that one, you know, tour to like define my life, define my career, define like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's more to that. You just got to think and really think outside the box.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's way more. There's so many opportunities.
Yeah, so, yeah, man, I think it was just dope to hear what you wanted to preserve, you know, in the present. I think family. Oh, I got shot.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, 4th of July,
4th of July
is in 2 days.
I don't celebrate
Right.
4th of July.
It's canceled this year.
4th of July is canceled, but 4th of July is canceled for me until they...
In your heart.
In my heart, 4th of July is canceled for me permanently until they release all those kids at the border from those cages and they let all the wrongfully imprisoned out of jail.
It's not even a day on the calendar anymore. just skips.
Yeah, I'm literally skipping.
July to 5th.
I'm literally skipping 4th of July every single year until this country releases those who are wrongfully in prison. Because ain't no celebrating freedom when folks ain't free.
Right.
Sidebar.
That could have been like a really mini episode. Yeah, it's just dope that I think community for sure is such a big factor in being a dancer, and being even a successful dancer. You need a support system no matter what you do. And with dance, I mean, you're being critiqued every day, and like you have to protect your energy, and people technically like almost lie to you every day, like, oh, you're so tight, but you're not. So you need a circle of friends to tell you the real, or to kind of like tell you like just stuff that you need to hear. So I think community for sure is something to preserve, because now everyone's like kind of going for their own thing.
Especially now because people are scared to be around people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't know how to people.
Yeah, like people don't know how to be around people no more. So I'm gonna just hold on to those who I trust.
Right.
Like I'm down to make new friends, but I'm really no new friends right now.
Right.
And just keep working with the squad and getting better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I trust y'all. Like
Yeah.
I trust my folks. That's about it.
Yeah, and yeah, man, I think it was dope that you really presented, and it's just a living testimony to like you can live off of dance, and just not in the whole industry teaching at studios, being the popular choreographer, being on tour. Like, he is paying his bills out here in LA by himself with these dance gigs, and yeah, they're not as what it seems. And I think what his future goals are, like being an educator, as you can see, he is being molded by it day by day. Like he said, the motto of this year is take it day by day. So, that's the daily bread we be talking about. Every day is different. So yeah, I think we'll just, as like Beast Camp, and especially like me and Rev, we have your back. For whatever future goals you have. And I think this is a dope platform for you to get your voice out there, especially like your real voice, because Brandon posts a lot on Facebook and it's really in depth. And now that you see his characteristics, like I read his post from like this voice, so
you get a little context.
Yeah, so don't be too sensitive. Like, he's one of the nicest, funniest guys I met. So even though he's trying to educate you, like, it's very in a comical, sarcastic, in a way. So if it kind of, like, it gives you context. So
I like sarcasm and dark humor, so you're going to get information through that lens.
Now read a lot of his posts that he was sharing with the captions of the stuff that's really serious, and then it's just a good vibe. So I'm glad we got the brother on here for the podcast boom, 3 episodes. 1, 2, 3. We are outie.
Bang, bang.
Thank you again. Please keep following him. We would love to have him back in the near future. So shout out to him, shout out to Versatile, shout out to Beast Camp, shout out to you guys. Please share, and that's all you can do with these podcasts.
Yes. Follow all of us though.
Yes.
Follow me at BeastBoi X Hype God. Actually, no, it's BeastBoi the Hype God on Instagram. So BeastBoi the Hype God. Make sure you follow Sherwin, Baby Tight Eyes. Make sure you follow Rev at Rev the Servant. Make sure you follow the Cypher Spot, follow Versatile LA, follow the Beast Camp, follow all of them.
K9 Machiavelli.
Follow K9 Machiavelli. Mac got his own Instagram. Follow all of us on Instagram. It's like the
cat down the street. That has a real Instagram.
Just like the cat down the road. Shout out to Ralph Smart and Infinite Waters. We love you.
Peace.
Peace.
I can't see you.